Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine. I am participating in a Can't Sleep Creations Spring and Easter playlist with Monica from Up All Night DIY, Dawn from Shabby Meets Bling, and Annie from Crafting with Indiana Jones, who are our hosts, along with so many other creators that are on this playlist with me. I hope you all will go to the description box below this video and check out all of our hosts and check out the playlist with so many other fun, crafty creations. I have been inspired by both the spring and Easter challenges, so I am going to be doing 2 cards for you all today. I hope you enjoy seeing these get put together. And if you're drowsy a little bit like I am, maybe just listen to the projects, watch them put them together later. And here we go. My first card was inspired by this butterfly from our Birds and Blossoms collection that just came out recently. I thought, I feel like I have a butterfly card I've done in the past, and I did. And so I wanted to do a variation on it for you all today. I have one of our blank cards from our blank card kit. I've already cut my base paper for it with my Birds and Blossoms birdhouse paper with the birds. This one has the canary gingham on the back. I just kind of appreciated the irony of using the birds and birdhouses with the butterfly. I know, it's just, maybe it is because it's late and it just felt funny at the time. I'm going to grab my regular tape burner and go ahead and put down my base of my card. And then I'm going to get into telling you what you need for the rest of this card. And you can already see one of the pieces here. I forgot to reinforce my corners with my repositionable tape runner. I've been trying to do better at making sure I don't create flappy cards. At the end that people will be opening will stay nice and tight, and they don't have to worry about it flapping around. Just the back will separate out the front part of the card. So I pulled out my gemstone custom cutting system pieces, and this small heart has an Easter egg in it. And I just thought, with Easter coming and this is an Easter and spring collaboration, it just seemed fitting that my butterfly is going to be made up from Easter eggs. I am using the red, blue, and green blades to cut the pieces. Grabbed my multi-purpose tool because I think we're going to do a little paper curling. We do need our piece by piece mini trio punch set. We will be using the punch that has the heart and the larger circle on it. You also are going to need your corner rounder. So because we are creating a butterfly, and so the papers we're going to make our butterfly out of, you can kind of see I've already gone ahead and cut out my pieces. I am using the orange watercolor effect paper that has the monarch butterflies on the back and our birds with the nests, our robin eggs with the butterflies on it, with the craft paper on the back of it. All right, so I have cut out 8 eggs from our Easter egg. I've done 2 with the red blade, 4 with the green blade. So I've done, these are red, these are green, or from the green blade. I've also done 2 from our bird paper with the green blade and 2 with the blue blade. So if you're familiar with our custom cutting system, the red blade cuts closest to the template. The green is next, and then the blue is the smallest, so it goes the furthest away. Just a quick reference there. And I'm going to go ahead and start piecing together my butterfly, I'm going to just put a little bit on the end here using my repositionable tape here, because this is what we're going to curl. So these are our butterfly wings. They're going to be layered. Our skinny point of our egg is going to be going into the body of the butterfly. As you can see, this is kind of the way it's going to piece together. Oops. And quick and easy to put together if you have the right tools. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to curl this before I stick it, just to make my life easier here. I'm just using my multi-purpose tool. I'm pulling up on the piece I just stuck down, the upper part of the wing, just to give my butterfly a little bit of extra motion on my card. And this might be a card that you hand to somebody. If you put it in an envelope, it's going to squash out just a little bit, but not too bad, actually. I have some pieces I've curled from, I think, a couple years ago even, and they are still curled, believe it or not. And I have them together in a show box, if you will, when I show my pieces or different ideas to people. So let's go ahead and put down our butterfly pieces. I just put a little bit of our tape runner on it. And we're going to leave a little bit of space in between here. We are going to overlap the upper wings and the lower wings just a little bit, so our pieces go together nicely here. And we'll see if we need to rearrange anything coming up once we get our body going. That's what we have a multi-purpose tool for, because those pieces will come up pretty easily from our paper here. So this one is my body. I took it from the same paper, the orange paper that had the monarchs on the back. This is a 1/2 inch by 2.5 inches. And then I've also cut 2 pieces for antenna that are 1/8 of an inch by 1 inch. Finally, I've actually, okay, this again, I guess is my sense of humor a little bit, but I just thought this was cute because it almost looked like little barrettes. Can you see those little butterflies that I punched out using my punch? That's going to be the top of my butterfly antenna. So I used this large circle here. I flipped it over. I unlocked my punch. I looked at my paper when I went to punch it, and I actually got those 2 little butterflies to come out on purpose for the top of my antenna. And now we're going to grab our corner rounders. We're just going to put the end of our body into the end of the corner rounder, just so that way it's not so angular. When you look at a butterfly, you can see it has these rounded, head and tail to it here. So we have a tool that can help us with that. And then let's grab some tape, and we're going to get our body down onto our butterfly. And we're going to put it with the top part a little bit higher than the bottom part, I guess, if you will. It's hard. It's kind of centered, I guess, in a way, but it's just, looking at this, it looks like the bottom is a little lower than the top on this butterfly, but it's your butterfly. Put it where you want to put it. Go ahead and grab those little 1 inch by 1/8 of an inch pieces. Get a little bit of tape runner on those as well. It's a little tricky sometimes. And then that actually needs to go underneath your head here. So we're going to grab our multi-purpose tool and wedge up your top part there a little bit. Ooh. That's okay. And I'm just rubbing off a little bit of the extra repositionable tape. And then for our tops of our antenna, my little butterflies, I'm actually going to use my Precision Point adhesive pen on it. It's just a little bit of a glue pen. It makes things a lot easier. The glue comes out blue, it dries clear, and it just makes it so much easier when working with these small pieces. There we go. And you could use your lifter with it, but you don't want to press your lifter into your glue dot. So there's one. Here's the other. If I can pick it up also. Oops. Make sure my little butterflies are kind of straight there. And so there is our butterfly put together. And I actually found a couple more on our sticker sheet for this collection. I just thought it might be fun to add a couple of extra to the front of our card because it does help to bring out the colors as well. Grab out my foam squares. To the back of our butterflies, and we actually need to cut that. All right, so we're going to cut a couple of these in half because these butterflies are small and we just need a little bit of pop-up on each wing, it looks like. So here we go. Okay. Oh, these would be, okay, there we go. Let's get the backings off of these. Oops, that one's already off. We'll go ahead and stick this one up in this corner here. So that way our butterfly looks like it has some friends hanging out with it. It's going to add a little bit of motion to the card. If you do ship this one, you will need extra postage. Maybe we should put one of those blue ones on as well. There we go. Let's go ahead and do that one not popped up. And then I also found a sticker here, the sentiment, if hope had a scent, it would smell like spring and rain, something new and alive. And I just thought that really fit our challenge. So I'm going to stick that inside my card, and I'm actually going to stick it in this left side of my card. That way you have plenty of space still to write on this right side, but I just thought it was a nice sentiment to have for a spring card. So there you go. I hope you all like my butterfly with my irony with adding my little birds there. I also have a second project coming, so let's get into that one as well. We are going to be making an Easter basket with some Easter eggs, and I'm going to be using our leafy vine decorative border punch to add some interest to the bottom of our card. So I went ahead and I pre-cut 2 of our borders, and I did it in these 2 green papers. This is all using the Serenity collection, the one that has the stripes and the one that has kind of a floral background to it. There we go. And for the base of my card, I'm actually using a scrap. So this one is 5.5 by 4 inches for my base. So I went ahead and I cut a 1 inch by 5.5 piece of our beige cardstock as well. And you'll see where we're going with this. I pulled out one of my blank cards from our blank card kits. And actually, I'm just going to go ahead and start putting things down because it's going to make things a little bit easier to see when we really get going here. So your strip is going to go on the bottom of your card base, or across the bottom. And this other piece is going to go on top of that. When I went to piece together to design the card, it just seemed like it made more sense to have the beige rather than the white of the card base showing. So that's what I wanted to do. And if you have a full piece of this green, you don't probably need this little brown or beige strip down here. It just was something that I added because I didn't want the white. I also have cut a border from the light green as well that has the decorative piece on the back of it. So we're going to be using the decorative side to it, and I punched it from our mirrored scallop chain border maker cartridge, and this piece is 7 3/4. Again, I had some scraps. Most of our pages are 12 inches, but I didn't have a whole lot of that, so that's what I'm using. I also pulled out our canary cardstock, which is this really adorable yellow here, our soft pink cardstock, and our purple ice cardstock. And I went ahead and pulled out my Creative Memories dual tip pens. I have our rosy red, orange, purple, blue, green, and navy. And I just gone ahead and I've drawn some designs onto my little Easter eggs. I used our smallest oval from our custom cutting system with the blue blade on the inside to cut out 3 eggs from each of the colors of cardstock. So there's 9 total eggs there. And finally, I have a piece of our basket weave looking paper from the Serenity collection. It has the lavender seeds on the back. And I'm going to do a little bit of a different cut with this one. So I wanted to pull out my trimmer and actually show you all what I'm doing here. Our 12-inch trimmer has this 45-degree line that runs at an angle here. And I'll try to get it so I don't have the light blocking the view here. But we're going to stick our paper in that on that 45-degree line. This piece of paper is 1 3/4 by 2 1/4. And so I'm going to take, because I want my basket wider than taller, I am putting it on with the 2 1/4 way this way, and I'm going to line it up with the beginning of the grid marks on this right side of my page. So that's the 1/2 inch mark on the right side of my trimmer, following this 45-degree line, going to the 1/2 inch mark. And then I'm going to cut here, and then we are going to go ahead and flip the paper over. So now I have my lavender seed side up because all of our designer papers are double-sided. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that again, going to that 1/2 inch mark again, just to give my basket a little bit more dimension. And you'll see when we get our handle on, it's going to look super cute. So our basket is going to go pretty much in line with the bottom of our card here. But the first things first, we're going to add a little decorative element here using our mirrored scallop chain piece. It's going to be both our decorative element and our handle for our basket. So let's go ahead and get this going along the top. And then we're just going to flip this over, pull out your scissors, and cut along the line here. It looks like I'm not quite, yep, actually I am even. I have just a little bit of my top of my mirror peeping out from over the top of my basket here. There we go. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting the camera to focus a little bit better. How's about that? And then we're going to start folding our paper. So our handle is going to run behind our basket, and you kind of want to start in the middle of your handle here. So I'm going to pull out my 0 centering ruler because we have around 2 3/4. Yes, 2 3/4 left. So my 0 is right through this here. And that's where I'm going to make my first fold. And I'm just kind of doing a very subtle, kind of almost like a 1/8 of an inch point here. on my handle, and you can fold it either up or down, and then you want to fold again and kind of get it to bend in a little and bring itself down here. So you're almost going in between each rung of your mirrored scallop chain as you're bringing it down. And so it kind of does crinkle a little more in the top than in the bottom. We're going to put a little bit of repositionable tape over each end of this handle because this is going to go behind our paper here. And you want it so that the bumps go behind the edge here as well, because when I originally was looking at it, I looked at it outside and it just looks strange to have that bumping out behind there. And then you can work on fixing this so it'll lay a little bit straighter for you through the folds. And our tape will help hold it in place as well. So there we go. So you don't want to make it too tight, but you want to make it so your basket has a nice little handle on it coming around. There we go. That's what we wanted. So I mean it's not super tricky, but it just has just a really cute effect when you're done with your folding. So let's go ahead and get our basket onto our card. This is my regular tape runner there. I'm going to go ahead and put a little more repositionable across these pieces that we punched and folded that have all of our holes in it. And I am using my border silicone mat here to keep my tape from sticking to anything but the paper. There we go. So there's your basket there. We're going to get our leafy vine piece going across the bottom here. Please note I'm just adding tape runner to the bottom part of the leaves. Layer this kind of behind the first one. So it's highlighting our darker green leaves a bit, but rather than putting it in front of them, I'm opting to put it behind. So you can still see that it's highlighting our leaves, but it's just highlighting them in a slightly different way. We're going to flip our card over. I am going to cut off all of this excess paper because my card's going to be mailed. And I want to make sure it can fit into an envelope. And this is one of the things that makes paper fun, is you can cut it and you can mold it almost like clay to whatever you want it to be. And it usually works out. So now here is our card. We're going to add our Easter eggs. And if you have trouble picking up the Easter eggs, I pulled out my lifter stick just to show you all how easy it is to use to help pick up your pieces. And instead of having to slide them all over the place, just pick them up, turn them over, get them ready for a little bit of tape, or you can also pull out your precision point adhesive, which is our glue pen. And basically when you use this one, it gives you a little dot of glue. It comes out of the pen blue, but it dries clear. Basically it's stronger as it dries, which is how our repositionable tape works as well. So I think I am going to use the repositionable, and just because these little ovals are big enough to work on my mat and hold the tape. Oops, there we go. It doesn't stick to me too much, I guess. So I think we're going to add a couple of eggs to our basket here. Actually, maybe not this one. That one's a little bit more bright, but I kind of was thinking maybe one of these purple ones could be in the basket. What you can do is you can either, if you have a Cricut, you can print out Happy Easter. If you have your navy pen, we're going to write Happy Easter on this card. And there you go. So you can easily write it, you can print it, you can do whatever you want. If you want to add words to your card like I did, if you don't trust your writing, then by all means create something on a Cricut. You can print it with our cardstock, or you can just grab a pen and write it for somebody. I hope you all enjoyed seeing this quick and simple Easter basket. If you would like me to demonstrate either one of our punches or how I did the Easter eggs, please leave me a comment and I will create a short or a second video to show that technique. I wanted to keep things a little bit shorter for the playlist since I know I've got two projects and paper tends to take a little bit longer anyways. Thanks again to our hosts, Monica, Dawn, and Annie, for hosting our late night creation pajama party, if you will. And please remember to check out the playlist. Until next time.